All right, everybody. Day 17 of the 21-day fast. And as always, school is now in session. We're coming out of Romans 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Here we go. We're about to go in. We're examining today if you're being conformed to the world or if you're being transformed by his word. Here's an example of some of the ways you are conforming to the world. If you are saying homosexuality is good and love is love, you're living and promoting sin. Transgender. If you're saying, as a Christian, I'm going to call them by their pronouns and I'm going to respect what they want. While you are not respecting and upholding God's word, you're living in sin. Porn is something everyone does. It's not a big deal. It's sin. You're lusting after people that you haven't, they're not your husband or wife. That's a sin, okay? Sex outside of marriage, the hookup culture, that's a sin, guys. Just because society is pressing and pushing it down our throats does not mean that God's okay with it and that he's all of a sudden changed his mind. Polygamy. Okay, you got a wife or you have one husband, and all of a sudden you feel like, oh, I can bring another person into the marriage bed and God's cool with it. No, that is considered sin. These are some examples that you are conforming to the world. The way I like to describe it is when you are being transformed or renewed by his word, you now have a responsibility to hold it tight. And the way I would give an example is like a football. If I tell you in order for you to win this game, I'm going to throw a football at you. You need to catch that ball, hold it real tight, and you run to the finish line. God's truth is the same way. God is giving us his word, and we're being told, you hold on to this thing for your dear life, and you run to the finish line. The finish line in this context is heaven. You don't stop until you reach heaven. Okay, being conformed to this world or transformed by the renewal of your mind. Here's the second part, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God. Being transformed is the will of God. What is good, acceptable, and perfect, that is the will of God. That you are being renewed and you are in agreement with his word. Isaiah 5:20 says, woe unto them that call evil good. Are you conforming or are you being transformed? Which one are you?